What's up, my Central Unit? It's the Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So, the Royal Rumble season has arrived again for the month of January. I'm going to review some classic Royal Rumble shows. So today, I'm going to review Royal Rumble 1989 at the Summit. Right now, it's called the Lightwood Church Center in Houston, Texas, on the 15th of January 1989. The attendance for the show was 19,000. This show received about 165,000 pay-per-view buys. This is the second annual Royal Rumble, but the first one on pay-per-view. The 1988 Royal Rumble, it's not a pay-per-view, it was basically a special event on the USA Network. At this moment in time, the WWF was doing the whole pay-per-view expansion because the last few years they did the first few WrestleManias. In 1987, they did the first Survivor Series. Then in 1988, they did the first SummerSlam. Then in 89, they added the Royal Rumble in their pay-per-view schedule. Become the Big Four. Then in 91, they trying to do an experiment in, added Tuesday in Texas. The Big Five, because that show was shit. I don't want to get into it. I reviewed it a month ago. Go and check it out. That is WWF Tuesday in Texas 91. Yeah, they got it right in 93. They added the King of the Ring. The Big Four became the Big Five. And then, 95, in your house shows. And then right now we got like fucking 20 to 22 pay-per-views in a calendar year. 2 pay-per-views in 1 month. Too many pay-per-views. It's overkill. I don't want to get into it. So anyway, the commentators for the show are Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. So before we get to the matches on the show, there's one segment I'm going to talk about. It's a post down between the Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing Rick Rude. Holy crap. This is why segments in pay-per-views just do not work. It just feel like you probably see it on a wrestling TV show midweek, but not on a pay-per-view that spends a lot of money watching a wrestling show. Yeah, they are just basically doing muscle posing. It's just like, I get it because the Warrior, Jim Hellwig, and Rick Rude are former bodybuilders. I simply get it, but like I said, this is on a pay-per-view that people spending money. The fans do not give a shit. Yeah, you get the girls screaming, because they're like hot bodies, with like muscles in their shoulders and arms and abs. I get it, but it's like, this is similar to the previous Royal Rumble event from '88. The segment between when Dino Bravo bench press segment. Like I said, just save it on not on pay-per-view, just save it on a weekly TV, because back then they still got weekly TV. For the World Wrestling Federation, did like main events, superstars, what's it called, the Wrestling Classic. This is before Raw and SmackDown. Anyway, so the first post down is the front double bicep. I don't know who won that. I don't know, because the difference between Warrior's physique and Rick Rude's physique, he's so shredded and ripped, and Warrior is a bit burly. He's super buffed, but I don't know who won the first round. The second round, I'm guessing that's for the abs. I think Rick Rude won this round because his physique, he's got like a classic physique, and from the 60s and 70s / a men's physique of right now. But that's the second round. The third round is the most muscular. Warrior won that round because he's got like big shoulders and traps. They were going for the fourth round. Heenan sprayed the Warrior in the face with oil, baby oil, and Rick Rude smacked Warrior in the back of the head with an exercise bar, choked him out, and that was it. This is sort of a match at WrestleMania 5 for the Intercontinental Championship, because the Warrior was the IC champion at the time. Rude defeated the Warrior at WrestleMania by the help by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Then he had the rematch at SummerSlam in the summer. Warrior regained the title. And then in 1990, they fight again when Warrior was the World Wrestling Federation champion. So I don't like the post down. I'm a big fan of bodybuilding, but save this stuff on weekly TV, not on a pay-per-view that people spend a lot of money. Anyway, before we get to the rest of the review, I need a drink. Anyway, so the first match to kick off the show, this is a 2 out of 3 pinfall 6-man tag team match. We got, the Hart Foundation, that is Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who won the first Royal Rumble from 1988. They taking on the Fabulous Ruchos, that is Jacques and Raymond and Dino Bravo, with Jimmy Hart and, was it French Marty, in the corner. Jimmy Hart used to be the manager of the Hart Foundation. I'm guessing like they turned on the Hart Foundation. Yeah, the Hart Foundation were a babyface at this moment in time. So the match was good. I don't want to say Frenchie Martin. You know, that's the manager of Dino Bravo. Anyway, so I like Fabulous Ruchos. You know, very underrated tag team. I don't know they're in the Hall of Fame yet. They should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, this is like I think this is like 15 years before La Resistance. You know, I'm guessing the gimmicks what they doing expires La Resistance. You know, that's Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier, because their gimmicks are a bit similar. You know, the French Canadian Dupree. He's not really from France. He's from Quebec. I get it. And then I don't like that second version of La Resistance. That's Grenier and Rob Conway. Anyways, when Dupree went to SmackDown. Anyway, so the waving American flags. I don't know. I think they're just basically their gimmicks. Bragging they're from French Canada. Anyway, so Dino Bravo. It's a shame that he died young. You know, he died in his 40s in 1993. I watched Dark Side of the Ring, by the way. Anyway, let's get back to this match. So the match was good between the Hart Foundation and Duggan versus the Ruchos and Dino Bravo. The first pinfall was scored by the Ruchos and Dino Bravo. The Rucho hit similar to the Doomsday device. You know, if you watch the Legion of Doom matches, you know, you had, I think it was Jacques and Raymond placed Bret on one of their shoulders. The other Ruche brothers hit like a leg drop off the top rope onto Bret for the win. Not the win, but the first pinfall. The second pinfall, they went on to win this match. You know, the Hart Foundation and Duggan. You know, you had, I think like Bret and Neidhart did like moves on the ropes for for an equalizer. So it's 1-1. And then in the end, I think Jim Duggan hits, I think it was Dino Bravo or one of the Rucho brothers in the back of the head with the plank of wood for the win. So I really like this match. It was a fun match to kick off the pay-per-view. The next match, this is for the WWF Women's Championship. We got Rockin' Robin defending the belt against Judy Martin. Judy Martin was one half of the Glamour Girls with Leilani Kai at the previous Royal Rumble match. I'll get to that shortly. Robin is the sister of Jake the Snake Roberts, who defeat the previous champion for the title. That's Sensational Sherry. Sherry just came out there, says, I'm going to face the winner of this match. And then she was on commentary, basically talking shit towards Robin and Judy Martin, calling Rockin' Robin a skinny bird. I don't know, it's just what it is. Anyway, so this match between Robin and Judy Martin is, if I compare to this match to the previous women's match at the previous Royal Rumble event from 1988, it was for the women's tag team titles. The Glamour Girls versus the Jumping Barn Angels. That was a better match than this. I'm not saying this match was bad, but it was just an okay match. Nothing special. It's a bit dull. In the end, Robin hit like I think it was a crossbody. It's funny, like Robin was preparing to hit the crossbody. Martin kind of ducked. but she able to hit the move anyway for the win. I'm guessing, yeah, Robin and Sherry end up to feuding for the title. I don't think they have a televised match. I'm guessing they fought for the women's title on house shows, but sadly this was yeah, Rock and Robin's last match for the Federation, because at WrestleMania 5 she sang America the Beautiful, and then in June of '89 she was gone from the company. She retired in 1992. Yeah, the rest of her career she's wrestled in Japan. And the women's title belt was retired a following year in 1990. I'm guessing at this moment in time, the women's title was very ignored, but it's not really a major title. The three major titles for the Federation at the time was the World Wrestling Federation Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and the Tag Team Championship. Before that, I think the Hart Fighter, I don't know who was the Tag Team Champions at that time in the beginning of '89. I'm guessing like was the Rushos or the Hart Foundation. I think it was the Hart Foundation. Yeah, it was the Hart Foundation, by the way. Anyway, so well, yeah, we'll get back to the topic I'm talking about. Yeah, the women's title was not really. It was basically ignored. I'm guessing after the defense of the Mendes got away. You know, when the stuff with when Wendy Richter got screwed by Fabulous Moolah, the women's title was blatantly ignored, and then yeah, like I said, in 1990 the title was deactivated. Yeah, they brought back the women's title in 1993 in the era of Ilonda Blaze, aka Medusa, and the rest is history. So yeah, by the way, it's still a good match. It was an okay match between Rock and Robin versus Judy Martin. So moving on to the next match. So the next match we got King Haku with Bobby the Brain Heenan taking on King Harley Race. Harley Race had stitches in his stomach because this is his first match back, because in 1988, the previous year, he suffered a hernia in a match with Hulk Hogan. He was going to hit Hogan with the diving headbutt on the table. Hogan got out of the way. The table, it's not the breakable table you see in wrestling matches, and also it's the same table, breakable tables you probably see in fight scenes in TV shows and movies. This was a legitimate real table. Yeah, he hit the move and then, you know, he fucked himself up with it. So Heenan gave the king crown and the robe to Haku. By the way, Harley Race was the second ever King of the Ring winner. The first winner of that tournament was Don Morocco. Anyway, so this is battle for the King's crown. And this was a good match. I'm not a big fan of Haku Ming. Every time I cover a Ming's match, and you know, when I cover WCW pay-per-views and Nitros, he never had like a great match, a passable match. I think the only passable match I covered was the match with Sting, probably at Great American Bash 95, Bash the Beach 95. But besides that, I never liked Ming Haku. You know, I don't think he's that good in the ring. He was there for his size. That's just me, but yeah, Harley Race, Harley Race, yeah, he's a multiple-time NWA World Champion. I think he's a 7/8-time World Champion, feuding with Ric Flair in the NWA. He kind of carried Haku to a good match. Race hit the power driver outside the ring, and then in the end he was going for like a diving headbutt, but yeah, Haku got out of the way. He hit Race with I think it was a super kick for the win, and sadly this was Harley Race's final match for the World Wrestling Federation. So I don't know what the reason why he left. I don't know. He spent the rest of his career in he had a cup of coffee in WCW. Then he retired, became a manager of Vader. This was like later on in the 1990s. Then I think he wrestled some territories during that time. And then he retired, and then he retired in 1990, by the way. Yeah, so he kind of had a short run in WCW. Then he became a manager. Then he came back to the WWE, you know, in the Hall of Fame in 2004. And he paid some appearance on WWE television in the final few years before he died in 2019. So it's a damn shame. It's funny that when he was wrestled Haku on this show, He was in his mid-40s. He died at the age of 76 in 2019. He was 49. He was in his mid-40s, and he gave Haku a passable match. That was cool. That was pretty cool. Anyway, so moving on to the main event. This is the second ever Royal Rumble match, but this is the first 30-man Royal Rumble match in history. Because the first one was a 20-man Royal Rumble, then it's funny, in 2011 they bumped it up to 40-man, and then in 2018 they did the 50-man Royal Rumble match in that greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to talk about it, so anyway, so this was a good match. It was typical punch, kick. It's just what it is, but it's just like planting the matches of that year's WrestleMania. Because in the first Rumble match was basically there's no meat on the bone. You had one or two like Bret Hart and Gene Duggan. That's it. But in this Rumble match, you had a lot of stars. You know, star power like Hogan and Savage, who was the World Wrestling Federation champion. Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake Roberts, The Rockers, Mr. Perfect. Before we get into more depth about this match, in my review of SummerSlam 89, I said like SummerSlam 89 was, you know, in Perfect's match against Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, I said that was his first match. I was wrong. I fucked up. I looked it up. He debuted in mid-1988. You know, I'm getting my facts right, by the way. So, debuted in 1988. He was wearing blue trunks. Though he ended up wearing the singlet later on. That was the best decision for Perfect's career. Anyway, so, yeah, but speaking of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, he was the Iron Man in this Rumble match. I think he lasted about 28 minutes. I don't know, the MVP of this match, I don't know who's the MVP of this match. The most eliminations in this match was Hulk Hogan by 10. And then funny that in 2001 Kane broke Hogan's record, and then Roman in 2014, Braun in 2018, and Brock in 2020. You know, you get my drift. So the match was an hour and 4 minutes long. You set up matches for WrestleMania 5, like, I don't know, Andre the Giant versus Jake the Snake Roberts. You know, it was all about Damien the Snake. It's funny that Andre, like, the big early parts of the match, you had, like, some of these wrestlers trying to eliminate Andre, couldn't do it. Andre eliminated Jake Roberts, and then he came back minutes later, brought the Snake. Andre was petrified, left the ring, got himself eliminated. That set their match at WrestleMania 5. And and also, like I said, set up like in this show, it set up like Warrior Rude for the IC title at WrestleMania, same as Andre versus Roberts, and Hogan versus Savage for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, because Hogan and Savage are the mega powers. Since 1988, so in this match, you had basically Hogan eliminated 10 opponents in this match, and including the Warlord, one half of Powers of Pain. He was about to enter the ring. Hogan clotheslined him out of the ring, and that was about a second. 20 years later at Royal Rumble 2009, in that Royal Rumble match, Santino Marella got himself eliminated. I think that broke the Warlord's record, and then you got Santino Marella says, I wasn't ready. Yeah, I reviewed Royal Rumble 2009 last year on this channel. Go and check it out. I think the guy who got eliminated the quickest in a Royal Rumble match has to be Titus O'Neil. This is way back in 2013, 2014, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. Hogan accidentally eliminates Savage after he was battling Bad News Brown, and Savage got pissed off, and then Miss Elizabeth, who's the manager of the Mega Powers, established they never won the tag team titles. I understand they don't really need it, but it'd be really cool if they were the tag team champions. Yeah, it was really wasted opportunity. Anyway, so Miss Elizabeth came to the ring, being Peacemaker. Hogan and Savage shake hands, and then the Twin Towers eliminated Hogan. I think it was Akeem or Boss Man eliminate Hogan, and then Hogan eliminate Boss Man. They end up fighting, and you got Brutus the Barber Beefcake came along in this match. Helping Hogan, future tag team. Partners. The Mega Maniacs. This is sort of a match on main event a month later. The Mega Powers versus the Twin Towers. Hogan and Savage won that match. I think during that match you had Akeem, the American Dream. That's formerly known as the One Man Gang. Stupid gimmick. Anyway, Akeem thrown Savage out of the ring, and he collided onto Miss Elizabeth. Hogan basically picked up Elizabeth, went to backstage to a medical room. Savage got pissed off. He didn't turn heel on this match on this show, but at main event, and then Savage attacked Hogan in the medical room when that's Elizabeth was on, I think it was on a medical bed with a heart monitor, and it sounded like Miss Elizabeth is dying, but she's okay. She's a professional. She knows what she's doing. So yeah. Savage attacked Hogan. That set up the main event of WrestleMania 5, and then Hogan went on to win the world title from Savage on that show. Another story for another time. Anyway, so I think it's also you had Ted DiBiase Senior, the $1 Million Man, bought number 30, I think. He's trying to win the Rumble match. So you had we got the final. I think you had Jake. What's his name? I keep saying Jake a lot. Big John Studd, I'm trying to say. Big John Studd came at number 28, 29, I don't know, can't remember. In the final two were the $1 Million Man and Big John Studd. He eliminated Ted DiBiase out of this match and won the second ever Royal Rumble match. Don't count that one in '87. That was just a test match in a house show that's won by the One Man Gang, but the first two winners were Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Big John Studd. It didn't really amount to anything, and also the story going into it, this is Big John Studd's first match in years. He took a break from pro wrestling, and he came back in late '88 on a segment, the Brother Love show, and rejects Bobby the Brain Heenan to be his manager because Heenan was managing Andre the Giant. That Andre the Giant and Big John Studd were feuding. The feud at the first WrestleMania. I think the feud before in decades, probably like the 70s and 80s. I don't know the history of Big John Studd. Very, very underrated. He's not like I don't know. He's just like one of those forgettable wrestlers. You never got like respect. It's funny that he was he was kind of Andre was in this mini feud between Jake the Snake Roberts and Big John Studd. By the way, Big John Studd will be the special guest referee in the match between Roberts and Andre at WrestleMania 5, and then he was gone in the company. He left the company. I think he said like poor payoffs. I don't know. I don't really in details about it, but this was the only accolade he won because Big John Studd never Studd and Duggan. They never were world champions in their careers in the Federation in WCW. I don't think Big John Studd wrestled in WCW. They've never been world champions. They've never been mid-card champions. I don't think they were tag team champions. The Rumble win, the Rumble victory was basically a nice piece of their feather cap, in their careers. So it's just what it is. It's really sad that 7 years later in 1995, Big John Studd passed away. Yeah, he wrestled after he left the company. Yeah, I think he wrestled in territories before his death in 1995. So it's just sad, but it's just what it is. And by the way, the first four Rumble matches between 1988 to 1991, it's for bragging rights. Nothing's on the line. And then in 92, they upped the ante when the world title was on the line. And then in 93, to the present day, that the winner of the Rumble match will face the champion at WrestleMania. So anyway, so my final rating for WWF Royal Rumble 1989, the first Royal Rumble on pay-per-view, I give it a 6 out of 10. If you rank this show, this is a bottom half Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It's nowhere near in the top half or the middle. It's basically in the bottom half, in my opinion. But I think this was a little bit better than Royal Rumble '88. And by the way, there's no bad matches on the show. The only thing in the bad, I'll get to the bad a little shortly, but fuck it, I'll talk about it right now. The only thing in the bad has to be the post down between Warrior versus Rude. Again, it's set up their match at WrestleMania, and then SummerSlam, and then SummerSlam again in 1990. But save this segment on free TV, not on a pay-per-view. The only match in the OK has to be the women's title match between Rockin' Robin versus Judy Martin. But besides that, the opener, the 2 out of 3 pinfall tag team match, the Hart Foundation, Jim Duggan versus the Rushos and Dino Bravo. Harley Race versus Haku, basically, Harley Race, really guided Haku to a passable match, and also the match of the night has to be the Royal Rumble match. Like I said, just punch, just playing more seeds for that year's WrestleMania. By the way, Rockin' Robin, I forgot to mention it. She was good in that ring. I don't think she's in the Hall of Fame. She might be in that Legends section of it. I mean, it's bullshit, I wish they just give them separate Hall of Fame thing. Just give them a separate Hall of Fame, It's just what it is. She was gone. Yeah, she spent most of the time in Japan, but I wish she should be in the Hall of Fame, man. That's just me. Anyway. So, hope you enjoyed my review of WWF Royal Rumble 1989. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below, smash the like button, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, still covering the Royal Rumble for the month of January, so let's review like Royal Rumble 1992, because in late 2021 I reviewed Survivor Series 91, Tuesday in Texas 91, so this is breaking the ice. Yeah, Royal Rumble 1992, that was memorable for the Royal Rumble match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. That was won by Ric Flair, and he ended up doing the tear in my eye pro. That's the next time, so this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.